Mental Health Warriors presents a mental health microsode.
I was having a conversation on the podcast earlier this week, and my guest, who was a mom whose daughter deals with mental health issues, pretty severe mental health issues, said something to me that really struck me. She goes, I need to prepare myself for the fact that suicide is an acceptable solution. And I was kind of taken aback by that because I guess I just wasn't really quite clear what she was saying exactly. So we talked about it. And she made a really important point, and it's something that I think everybody needs to understand. Because I've also seen, just this week, actually, or over the past few weeks, I've seen a number of people in some of the groups I belong to who've had people close to them either take their own life or threaten to take their own life. And a lot of the questions or comments go something like this. You know, somebody who is very close to me just took their own life. I'm devastated. I wonder, I'm beating myself up. I wonder if I could have done more. This hurts so bad. God, what could I have done differently? Okay. Natural reaction. The other kind of comment is when people are sort of, whether it's a loved one, a child who's, consistently threatening to take their own life, and the person is really paralyzed. The caregiver, the loved one, is paralyzed because they're organizing their whole life around trying to prevent this person from taking their own life. And so as my guest and I talked about this, and I'll release this podcast in the future, what she was saying is, as a mother, in order for me to be able to function and carry on with my own life, I have to accept that suicide is an acceptable solution for my daughter from my daughter's point of view. So in other words, I have to accept that if my daughter's pain becomes too great, she may find suicide to be an acceptable solution. And man, I could not agree with that more. I went through this with Cindy. I was terrified she was going to take her own life. But through the process of trying to, over a number of years, but through the process of trying to protect her, what I realized is that it is fucking almost impossible to be able to protect someone or stop them from taking their own life if they are determined to do it. They are a sovereign human being, and even though they might have mental health issues, ultimately the responsibility for themselves is theirs and theirs alone. Like, yes, if they make, obvious threats or they are considered to be a danger to themselves or others, then certainly you can involve the first responders and get them, taken into some sort of protective custody. They call it Form 1ing them here in Canada, but sort of involuntary, protecting them involuntarily, say, bringing them into custody or taking them to a psychiatric facility. But man, other than that, the bar is set very high for that, right? And rightfully so, because the bar should be set very high in order to take somebody's liberty away. However, if somebody is determined to take their own life, man, there's not much you can do to stop them. And I think accepting that gives you the freedom to be strong in other areas of your life where you need to be strong. So, I'm not in any way trying to minimize this or understand how difficult it is, but my message I just read one of these posts yesterday, and my message to the guy who was wondering, he was a friend, what could I have done differently? My message to him was, maybe you just did the best that you could, and that's all you could do. And your ability to limit or influence the outcome was limited, right? Because you are dealing with another sovereign human being. And I think if you want to, instead of beating yourself up about it, and I understand that's a natural part of the process, or wondering what you could have done differently, but over the long term, I think the best thing you could do to honor this person you cared about's legacy is to feel the pain. It's to find meaning in the pain. It's to heal. It's to remember them. It's to serve other people. It's to live the life you're supposed to live. Like, that is the best way for you to honor the legacy of this person that you care about. And I don't know, it was a topic that came up that was really interesting to me, because it is a hard thing to say out loud. That yes, suicide sometimes is an acceptable solution, because sometimes people are hurting so bad, they've been hurting for so long, they don't see an out, And sometimes the pain is just too much. And for that person who's suffering like that, suicide is an acceptable solution. I think another thing to think about is, maybe this is sort of unrelated, or maybe only partially related, but you'll never know what was going on in that person's head. You'll have an idea of what might have been going on in that person's head. But I think sometimes that's one of the things that drives people crazy, is we wonder and wonder and wonder. Yeah, but you'll never really know. And accepting that is another important thing in order to be able to move on. So I wanted to bring this topic up with you today because a lot of us know people who are dealing with mental health issues. A lot of people will ruin our own lives trying to protect people with the best of intentions, and I get it. And it's important that you go as far as you can. But ultimately, you can only do the best that you can. And it's something I want you to remember. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for supporting the people that you care about so much, and we'll see you next time.
Stay tuned for more mental health microsodes.